Hi, welcome to White Tree Tarot. My name is Alex, and as a part of Ethany's 31 Days of Tarot, I would like to introduce you to the decks which I just don't see around a lot. They have faded from the spotlight, or people just don't know about these. But I have loved working with those decks, and I would like to give them some extra attention. I will mention only available still in print decks, so you can join the fun club if you like. Let us start with Tarot by Alexander Danilov. This is the 4th edition and it's still available on artist's website. This deck has a medieval storybook feel to it, along with vibrant colors and quirky stylization. Characters look a bit like paper dolls from Puppet Theater. No guidebook, but the deck follows White Smith system closely, although strength is number 8 and justice number 11. Prior knowledge of the White Smith deck is highly recommended, because there are no names on the minor arcana cards and majors are in Italian, although with numbers on them. So you have to understand what cards are you looking at by relating it to Rider-Waite Smith deck. So if you get this deck, I would suggest keeping it in order until you have the time to look through the deck a couple of times. But when you get used to this deck, and it will not take long, I hope you will enjoy it. I feel it has a serious, experienced vibe and gives very clear messages. And it's also definitely a piece of art. And this is the Little Monsters tarot deck. You can find it on a fluorescent tarot Etsy store. Artwork is done by Peony Archer. I have one of the first small-sized versions. The edition which is available now has large-sized cards, so you can see the detailed artwork even better. You can purchase additional guidebook by Olivia Pepper, and it's beautifully written, but you definitely can use this deck without guidebook, using your knowledge about White Smith's system. I see those beautiful creatures as being a bit shy and quiet. To me, this deck works best when I have time to sit with it and look deep into my questions. But this is a very wise deck, which knows what you need to hear at the moment. It's definitely an advisor you can trust. And just looking through this deck makes me smile. Here comes Jasper Tarot. Modern deck, but with very smart approach to the way how Waite Smith ideas are illustrated. Comic book art style, but it still looks and feels like a serious deck. Hermit and Wheel of Fortune cards showing modern but more of a shadow aspect of those cards. And Death has water molecule depiction. It's about washing away the old things, and also a reminder that development of living beings on our planet started in water. Sequence of Tower Star cards. You can see how New Hope comes above the crushing tower in the background of the star card. And Abyss gazing back at you from Moon card. You can recognize the cards by symbols on the corners of the cards. There is no guidebook, but card meanings are pretty on the surface, so there shouldn't be any problem getting to know this deck. Minor Arcana depicts modern, close to real-life situations. This deck is great for mundane or career-oriented questions when you need direct answer. And it's interesting just to go through it time to time to notice some more interesting details. One of my favorite depictions of Ten of Swords. You can cut yourself open with your own thoughts, or when you can kill another being when racing for new knowledge. Art of Life Tarot deck. I use this more as an oracle deck. Each card has a famous painting on it and a quote. So I don't feel I need more than one card when I work with this deck. This deck gives some extra layer to the traditional Waite-Smith meanings and also introduces to different painters. I approach it as a philosopher who gives you ideas you can think about. And it's an oracle and an art book altogether. Side note, a box of this deck can be made into a card stand. Morgenstern. I'm not quite sure why it's called tarot, because it's an oracle deck with 88 cards. One of my all-time favorite oracles. It was first published in 1970s and reprinted several times. US Games website says, back by popular demand. Oh boy, does this has a sense of humor and a 60s vibe. It states in the beginning of the little white book, the order in which cards are described here is purely random. Gives you an idea about the deck, right? And that small booklet has some quirky card descriptions, but they don't always help in understanding the card. My method of using this: draw a card, smile, think, because that deck is almost scary accurate. For example, when I was setting this part of the video up and was thinking about how to describe this deck, the first card I pulled out to show you was I'm from a different planet. So I will stick to that description. So these were my picks of underrated decks. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you would like to see a more detailed walkthrough of any of those decks, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and have a very nice day.